later this week. I guess it might be delayed with the weather, but it's kind of imminent. So I guess, what should I say about the lake grounds? I think I just wanted to talk a little about again, the strategic direction, because certainly several of us, Councillor Goddard did some research on the lake grounds. I think we have a file in the office which basically goes back to 1990 or 91 and before that, I think, actually. And effectively, if you look at the complaints at the time, it's it's a bit dilapidated and run down, etc., and not enough this and that and the other. So there's lots of complaints back in 1991. So I guess the history of that is we've probably, like a lot of parks in the UK, we have a team in North Somerset which is very passionate, but very small and lacks the budget, but does a great job of trying to keep things together. But over time, things have kind of get more dilapidated because there's just not the investment, and that's not a North Somerset thing. That's a countrywide problem. So what we've done is we are working with North Somerset, because we basically proposed that if we carry on as we are, we know there's no magic money tree, so it's not going to just appear out of thin air. So we need to kind of think differently. Otherwise, we'll probably still be sitting here in 25 years feeling a bit frustrated that certain things have not been done. So we're working with some North Somerset officers and trying to, basically look at the strategy for the future, which would be around, what do we do differently? Is there a different way of managing it? Can we involve the community more? Quite a lot of parks are run by trusts these days. It's possibility to bring in private investment and so forth. So there's kind of lots of ideas around. So we've got as far as, well, in the next couple of months, let's get some ideas together, which could then go up to the decision making in North Somerset about, can we kind of work together on that? How do we involve the community more? I guess my view is that we do need to look at things strategically, because it's a fantastic asset for the town. There's a huge lot more potential, but actually we need to get some investment in. We can't just keep complaining. We need to actually kind of work together to kind of make that happen. So that's the overall strategic point. Obviously, the gates are a much more tactical item, and I guess probably from a town council perspective, slight frustration that we're spending more money on the tactical implementation, especially given the negative reaction from a lot of people to the gate closures, or that's not the gate, the road had been closed in the summer. I think we had about 1,500 different bits of feedback, and about 75% of people were against closing the road. So anyway, we've made various representations. North Somerset have got from a narrow kind of operational management perspective, they have a solid business case, which is by putting the gates in, it's going to save them quite a lot of money. So every time they have to close the road, which they do regularly because of the overtopping risk, because of the flooding, it costs quite a lot of money. So the actual the gate project will pay for itself from that perspective fairly soon. So I think we've kind of said our piece on that. It's going to happen tomorrow, so I think my view is we now need to move on, but really work on that strategic plan with North Somerset. There are some big items there. There's obviously some worries about the lake, but we know from our research that actually to clear out the lake is probably several £100,000 worth of money to do that, because of the fact that it's got a puddled clay bottom, so it's quite fragile, and you can't just sort of take mud out and dump it. Especially the sediment there is going to be contaminated to some extent, like any inland lake, because it's run off basically from a lot of the water's run off from the hills around, although obviously some of it comes from a natural spring as well. So there's a lot of, it's not something you can just, I'm sure we all like to get our spade out and dig some mud out, but it's actually needs to be done properly, and that would need investment and a long-term plan, as well as obviously improving some of the facilities like the boathouse and the cafe. So that's so I think I'll give everyone the strategic direction and where that's heading, and the work going on there, as well as the what's happening with the gates and the operational rationale from that. So the gates, I think, will be I think they know. I've been told they will be implemented in the open position, and we've been reassured that they are there for dealing with flood management, but may also obviously also be used when we have a large event like the soapbox race or something like that to obviously close the road off and deal with the safety issues that are around. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a summary on that one. So, yeah. Right, thanks.